Hey you, yeah you who clicked on this video. Thanks for giving our channel a shot. And if you will, please do us the honor of watching the video all the way through. Appreciate it. Now onto the video.
I don't want his mother to see him this way. Look how they massacred my boy.
Hello fellow 8-bit heroes. Today we are going to discuss the often dreaded episode 3 of Star Wars The Acolyte, or better, Disney Star Wars The Acolyte. Episode 3 entitled Destiny. I have been really reluctant to even watch this episode, but now that I've seen it, I have to report back to you guys because, again, I'm watching this trash so you don't have to. Oh my god. So, because Disney can't do anything original, this episode is basically a copy of a copy inside of a copy. And we'll get to what that means in just a second. So, essentially, this episode starts out with young Osha and May, 16 years before the events that we've already been privy to in the other episodes of The Acolyte. Specifically, this is basically their origin story, if we're just breaking it down to its basic parts. And what I'm seeing in this episode is just further confirmation that Star Wars is dead, guys. I mean, I don't give up on anything, but I think we just need to let Star Wars go. And I'll explain that in just a moment. So, essentially, what we have, the planet Braddock, I think is what it's called, or some nonsense. I can't really be bothered to remember. But this planet is basically uninhabited aside from a coven of witches. Now, any Star Wars aficionado would say, "Oh, you mean the Night Sisters?" No, not the Night Sisters. That would make too much sense. No, we needed to create an alternate coven of force-wielding witches for this dumpster fire. But then again, the Night Sisters deserve so much better than this anyway, so I'm kind of glad they didn't besmirch their name. So, basically what we have is a cross between the Themyscira and Wakanda, if we're just gonna call it what it is. Not only do all of these women use the Force, but they practice this weird collectivism. So instead of using the Force as a single unit, they are basically channeling their ability to use the Force among themselves. I suppose to become more powerful. I'm not really exactly sure how it works. I don't even think the people that made this really know how it works. But these people are led by a lead witch, and this witch apparently is so powerful within the Force that she has been able to use the Force to have an immaculate conception of 2 space Jesuses. I wish I was joking, but it is what it is. And there are no other children in this community, in this coven. These children are the only children, and they exist primarily to carry on the traditions of this witch coven. And those children are Osha and May. Now, Osha, first of all, let's get to the visual aesthetics of this. Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland couldn't even be bothered to find identical twin girls. Couldn't even be bothered. These chicks ain't even the same height, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Y'all could have did better than this. We did better than this in Full House. We did better than this in the original Parent Trap. Y'all could have just had this one actress play the same, play different characters, just like you're doing with the adult versions. But no, you had to do whatever this is. But that's just nitpicking at this point because there are so many other problems with this episode. So, basically, they're trying to get these girls ready for a rite of ascension, which basically means that they will take an oath to carry on the mother's traditions and will and stay where they are. So there'll be no leaving this planet. And they give like some really thin answers as to why this is. But essentially it boils down to, we're women, we're witches, and the galaxy hates us because we're women force wielders. I don't know how valid that is, but in the galaxy far, far away where there are plenty of women that use the Force, I just don't see it. But never mind that. They're being spied on by the Jedi, and those Jedi are in particular Sol, Indara, the mini Wookiee, and force field dude, but younger. He's a Padawan now, but it doesn't matter. So basically, May wants to stay as a witch and continue the traditions of their mother, and Osha does not. She wants to see the galaxy. She wants to become a Jedi. And so there's a big conflict, or an ongoing conflict between the two. Osha doesn't seem very interested in learning the lessons of the mother, whereas May takes to it like a fish into water. So you're really dealing with a dynamic of a sibling conflict. But here's the problem. This could have been a good story. I think that's what mostly infuriates me about this. This could have been a good story, because the idea of this witch coven that's supposedly outcast and exiled from normal society because of their abilities works perfectly. It just doesn't work in the world of Star Wars. So eventually, when they come to basically, it's the night of Ascension. It's time for them to go over the rite of Ascension, and who interrupts but the Jedi? So the Jedi try to basically swing their dick around and say that, hey, we heard that y'all are training children in the ways of the Force. That's against Republic law. But here's the problem. This planet that they're on doesn't follow Republic law because they're not in the Republic. So the idea that they're even there in the first place is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. How do they hear about them? Why are they there? If this planet is in the Outer Rim, why are the Jedi even there, especially in the High Republic times? But again, let's not let canon get in the way of stupidity. So that aside, there's a conflict between the Jedi and the mother, and basically the Jedi want to test the two girls to see if they would qualify to become Jedi. Now, at this point, rather than telling the Jedi to, get the fuck on, they reluctantly allow this because the little girl Osha wants to be a Jedi, or thinks she wants to be a Jedi or whatever, but May obviously doesn't. So they devise this stupid little plan of basically having the girls lie and fail the test on purpose, which obviously isn't going to work because you're dealing with mind-reading, telekinetic space wizards, which is what a Jedi is. But they let the girls go with the plan that they're going to fail the test. Obviously, Osha doesn't want to, so you see how this is going to fail before it even began. So May takes the test. May fails. Osha takes the test. She starts to fail, but then Sol basically coerces her and manipulates her in the way that only a cult leader would really do, into basically going with them. And the whole time, it's just okay, so they've passed the test, so now we're going to kidnap your kid. That's really the basis of this, and it's so dumb. So now that Osha has passed, Osha and May get into a big fight in front of the mother. They tell May to take a walk, and mother talks to Osha. Osha basically is saying that she really wants to be a Jedi, and she wants to see the galaxy, and she wants her own life, and she doesn't want to be tied to May forever. And the mother reluctantly understands that she's look, the Force doesn't determine your destiny, but you do. So if that's what you want to do, that's fine, but you know that you're never going to see me again. So, they have a little touching moment or whatever. And then as Osha's musing about her new life, or her upcoming new life with the Jedi, May comes in and basically says, if you're not down with what we got going on here, then I'm going to kill you. So she locks her in the room, takes her book, sets it on fire. Now, here's where the stupid really comes in. So now this fire spreads. Even though this building obviously has technology, there are no sprinklers, there's no fire retardant, anything. I mean, trust me, this is retarded, but there's no fire retardant. And so everything just starts burning down. There's somehow this fire creates a cave-in of some sort. We don't really know what is happening because this is from the perspective of Osha. Osha gets out because she stole a screwdriver from the little Wookiee and gets out through a tunnel only to see May basically going through a room full of bridges, like metal bridges, and it breaks. And as the girls are about to fall to their death, who's there just in the nick of time but Soul? So Soul comes in to save them. They start falling, but Soul, who is a Jedi at this point, doesn't use the Force, because apparently the Force is situational, doesn't use the Force to grab both girls and bring them to safety. No, he has to physically go and grab Osha as she's falling, because he completely just misses May and she falls to her supposed death, even though we know she's alive. Now, as they're escaping, Osha is seeing all of her dead coven members, or her aunts, or her moms. I don't really know how this works, but she sees all of them dead, and as you know, but the fire is still going. I don't know how all of these telekinetic beings couldn't stop a fucking fire, but whatever. And so Soul takes her. They're on the ship. Says, hey, you're going to be a Jedi. I'm going to make sure I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that nothing happens to you. You're going to be my Padawan. And as they fly away, you see that May is alive and well, but by herself, because all of the other witches are dead. That's the end of this episode. But there are so many implications in this. So number one, we know that they are basically pulling a Timeless Children with this. If you're not familiar with Doctor Who, the Timeless Children is basically the episode where they retcon decades and decades of lore and canon in order to basically change the Doctor from an elderly white man, who is the original Dr. William Hartnell, to a little black girl, because diversity. So just like they did here, just like they did in the Rings of Power, to basically undo the lore that was already created, making characters different, subverting expectations, or whatever stupid shit they want to call fucking up the canon. They do it here, but they do it even more sloppily and ham-fistedly than they've done it before. As we know from any Star Wars fan knows that the first Force user to be able to manipulate the living Force and bring people back from the dead or create life was Darth Plagueis the Wise. Well, no. That is not the case anymore. Now it is this chick, and she is basically 10 times better and more awesome than Darth Plagueis the Wise, just because. No real reason, but because she's female, she's automatically better, and thus all of the canon that you've known throughout this time has been undone. And I guarantee you this isn't going to be the last time that they undo some piece of canon that fans are familiar with for the sake of subverting expectations and making sure that nobody watches this crap anymore. But other than that, I mean, just the Jesus parallels, or the Messiah parallels going on, the duality of light and dark, which, if you've noticed, they paint the Jedi in this really dark, manipulative, evil way. But we already have evil Force users. They're called the Sith, the dark side. If a Jedi was actually participating in these nefarious acts in the way that they're painting them, they would have already been transitioning to the dark side, and the Jedi Council would have been able to sniff them out like a wet fart. So I don't really understand the point of trying to demonize the Jedi. We already have a George. We already know that dark Force users exist. So trying to paint these particular Jedi as nefarious is just dumb. And then trying to bring in some sort of weird feminism in this particular, long ago in a galaxy far, far away doesn't work either. But again, they're just going to keep shoving this nonsense down your throat, and they do it with the worst logic that they could possibly muster. Like I say, they are willing to completely subvert the ideas of the Force, ideas of how it works, the ideas of the Jedi, the ideas of anything, as long as they can pursue their goals of basically shoving this agenda-driven nonsense down your throat. And I, for one, I'm just going to tell you, don't watch this crap. Just move on. Don't get loud in comment sections. Don't get on X and complain and whine and bitch at the creators. Don't do any of that. Just ignore it. Because one thing that hurts them more than anything else is ignoring it. And if you really want to go one step further, if there's nothing on this platform for you to watch, I would suggest you just cancel Disney Plus altogether. Because what they are doing with this series is so disrespectful to the fans, to the creators, to George Lucas. Even though George Lucas is in the sunken place right now, he doesn't deserve this. His story doesn't deserve this. And I don't even know, I can't imagine how it would feel to have something that I painstakingly created that had touched so many lives and so many imaginations be perverted in this way. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. If you thought, hey, it wasn't that bad, or if you thought, yes, this is not Star Wars in any way, shape, form, or fashion, sound off in the comments section below. And we'll see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace. If you'd like to get a shout out on the channel, then hit that like button, maybe share it with a couple of friends, and do us the biggest honor of all, and subscribe to the channel so you can join the 8-Bit Heroes family. And while you're at it, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when our new videos come out.